Hello, I'm Veronique Mandel. Welcome to Scribes and Songsters. On the show today, we'll talk divine vengeance and meet members of the band Bad Mustache. But let's start with vengeance. Kimberly Love lives in Windsor. She's an author of both fiction and nonfiction and a radio show host. She describes herself as a digital influencer who helps inspire women who want to change their lives. Her first book is titled You Taste Like Whiskey and Sunshine, and it's an inspiring memoir about Kimberly's journey through abuse and how she overcame it. Her latest book is called Divine Vengeance, which is fictional fantasy. Kimberly is here now to tell us all about it. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I love the title, Whiskey and Sunshine. I mean, who doesn't love whiskey and sunshine?
Right.
But this is not all whiskey and sunshine.
No.
How would you describe this book yourself?
I would probably describe it as a journey. Each chapter is kind of built on its own. So it kind of journeys through things in my childhood as well as in my adulthood. So it kind of takes a journey through things that I've struggled with and then how I overcame it. So a journey is probably the best way to describe it.
Now, you don't hold back in here.
No, no, I don't. My mother probably wishes I did, but no.
What would you say is the most raw experience that you've had to share?
Probably the experience of abuse with a family member was probably the most raw. And it was, something that took writing a book to kind of flesh it out of my soul, sort of thing. It was something that I kind of lived with my entire life, and it, whispered its way into my adulthood and really affected my life negatively and the choices that I made. So that was probably the biggest experience, and it was the hardest one to get out as well.
And I think people need to realize everything in here is true. It is your journey.
Yes.
Why did you write it?
Well, I mean, doing what I'm doing now with inspiring women, when I was going through my own journey and talking to people about it, and there was a part of my life where I wasn't really sure if I wanted to put it out there, but there was people saying to me, like, others need to hear it, and that's the biggest part of me learning about within my radio show and meeting people and talking at events is that I always hear, I totally can relate to what you said. Like, your story inspired me, and I think that's why I decided to put it out there. It was painful. It was something I experienced, but there's other people out there that are experiencing it right now that need the help to move on with their journey, and I think that's what made me kind of put it out there.
What do you want people to sort of really understand from from your journey?
That you can simply overcome anything. I've been through a lot, and there's a lot that I didn't think I'd be able to get through. And I think the most important thing I want people to take from my book is that it doesn't matter how ugly it was or how much it hurt or what you went through or what you sacrificed. You can always open that new door and start fresh and do the thing that you really want to do and have that life that you love.
Now, of course, you mentioned your radio show and the fact that you're sharing all of these parts of your journey. Tell us about what you're doing.
Well, I was offered a radio show, just over a year ago, and it was, kind of based off of me releasing the book. And because I was sharing so much, they felt like I could have an audience to share that information with. So when I got the show, it was new and bright to me, and it's grown so much. And now I have like experts and celebrities and some coaches on there. And the idea behind the show is that, I want my experts or my guests to impart either an inspiration for the audience or some kind of life journey or helping them to overcome a struggle. So the kind of theme is empowering women and to allowing them to grow in their own world. So it's been a wild ride, but I absolutely love it.
And you're also going out and talking to people.
Yes. I'm definitely, 2020 has opened up the experience of doing TED Talks and public speaking, which is a little scarier for me because it's one thing to be behind, the radio and nobody
Almost
can see
anonymous.
me.
Yeah.
But quite another to be on a stage. But again, I think these doors are opening for a reason. So I'm willing to allow myself to be scared, but to grow anyways. And yeah, that's the goal.
Well, let's get to Divine Vengeance. As you can tell, there were many places in the book where I thought, oh, I've got to ask her about that, Perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, originally. So it's a northern town. It's a very cold town. That's where the book is based. I kind of wanted to let the audience see what it was like to grow up in a small town. But the idea is because my journey is been about lights and darks, so is this journey. So as a fantasy, it's angels and demons. It's a battle against good and evil. And that's the basis around the story.
So let's talk about how the book is divided up. At the beginning, you sort of lead the reader into the story of Talia, and then you kill her.
Yeah, some people didn't like that.
But let's just talk, first of all, Talia is a pilot. Do you fly?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I have my pilot's license.
I suspected because you knew it really well.
Yes.
I mean, and I thought you either have researched it really well or you've experienced it.
No, it was actually something I did as a hobby, like way back in 2006, and I did it at the Windsor Flying Club. So it's a great experience. I think everybody should do it. It's so amazing. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to do for fun, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I thought, how cool would it be to have a character that was doing that sort of thing?
Now, she dies and goes to heaven.
Yes.
And comes back and has quite an interesting experience.
Yes. She was, the reason she dies, and it's not meant to just kill off a character. Her role in this book is protector. And so she dies, but she also comes back as an archangel. So she's meant to be protector of the new world. So that's kind of the role is, yes, she had to die, but she also has a greater purpose as well. So
tell us about her and how she functions in the first part of the book.
Well, I think she's kind of running on just coffee and, energy. Like she's a damaged girl, which you learn throughout there. Her parents are dead, and it was a tragic incident that they died, but she's kind of already broken and she's trying to find herself, which is kind of the purpose throughout the whole book is that, in her death and then going back to protect her daughter, she's learning about who she really is and who she wasn't in regards to who she thought she was at the beginning. She thought she was this broken girl that could never get past that. And through the story, she's learning that, there's almost a brilliance to brokenness, almost a perfection to it that you can almost do more good through brokenness, if that makes any sense.
And some really interesting discussions between two of the angels.
Right.
Tell us about them.
The idea behind the, angels that are teaching her journey is that one's not impressed at all that she's even allowed this honor of going into the angel world because obviously, we're meant to die, we go to heaven or hell. And that's kind of where it ends, right? But whereas the angels, the archangels, they're given a mission. So this one angel is like, there's no way that she's going to do this. She's going to fail. And this is, she shouldn't be doing it. While the other one is like, how about we teach her the ways so that she can actually succeed in her mission? And so it's kind of that little play on how you have someone against you and someone for you and which side are you going to fall against, I guess.
And I was wondering, I wonder if she based the really nasty guy on somebody she knows.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Because he's in both parts of her life. He's in the live part and the dead part.
Yeah. Yes, there's always, I always tell people in my life, you want to always be on my good side because you might end up in my book and then that's the way it's going to be. But yes, it's characters from my life who I've let go of, but you know, sometimes I like to bring them out and just be like, hey, I'm going to show the world what you're really like. But that's just me playing around.
And the whole heaven aspect of it, is it research? Did it come from research or?
Yes. I mean, I built heaven, like my heaven, on my own. That's definitely not like biblical or anything. I mean, I was raised as a Christian. So in that respect, there's teachings in there from that, but I built the heaven from my own imagination. So my heaven is different from different heavens you have seen in movies and that sort of thing. So I kind of just built that off of how I imagine heaven would be, which for anybody who hasn't read the book, I built it like a skyscraper. So each floor is a different field of heaven. So
now, you mentioned right at the beginning that you're from Sault Ste. Marie.
Yes.
And you actually call the place Sault Ste. Marie.
yes.
Have you gone to Sault Ste. Marie yet to to launch it?
Yeah, I had a book signing there recently, and I got quite a bit of good feedback, I guess. They put me in the Sault Star, which was the newspaper down there, very
Yes.
similar to Windsor Star, of
It
course.
is.
And so they love the fact that there's a local author that also has a book that has the town in it as well. So it's not quite Forks from Twilight, but we're getting there.
Did you like Talia?
I do.
Yeah.
I do like Talia a lot. I think she's very much like me, just because I know what it means to be broken and to also be redeemed. So I think I relate to her journey very much.
Now, you left us dangling at the end.
Yes.
So when is the next installment?
It's coming out in April, the next one. So yes, it's meant to be a 3-series book. So there's going to be a third one as well. And the idea is to, obviously, the next book will start us off in kind of an apocalyptic world.
Where can people buy your books?
Chapters, and I'm also in all the local bookstores, Juniper and Storytellers. They're always great with doing local authors as well.
They are.
Yeah, and online on Amazon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
When we come back, we're going to meet a member of the band called Bad Mustache. What a great name. But first, here's Denis Bastarache singing With Love in Your Eyes.
This is called With Love in Your Eyes. Sometimes I wake up just to watch you sleep, bundle you up and cover up your feet. I thank my lucky star. You are who you are, knowing that you're there makes my life easy. Knowing that you're there makes my life worthwhile. I just can't believe how the hands of time are turning. With my stubborn ways, you stand by my side. With love in your eyes, with love in your eyes. Now I'm off to work, my bag is packed and waiting. You see me to the door, send me on my way. Later on I sit, I find a note you left me. I read it and I smile, secretly put it away, or I'd lose my man card. I thank my lucky star. You are who you are, knowing that you're there makes my life easy. Knowing that you're there makes my life worthwhile. I just can't believe how the hands of time are turning. With my stubborn ways, you stand by my side, with loving in your eyes, with loving in your eyes. We talk about forever, our love filled our home, and memories on a dresser, so we never feel alone. You know, many days have passed since she's gone to heaven. Down here, life is really hard, except when I close my eyes, and then I watch you sleep. It's like an angel in my bedroom. Then I go to cover her up, and then I realize she's gone. But I'm really glad that I got to know her love, because there's enough love on my house to get me through this. Thank the Lord above, knowing all the love made my life easy. Knowing all the love made my life worthwhile. I just can't believe how the hands of time are turning. With my stubborn ways, you stood by my side, with love in your eyes, with love in your eyes. Now put your ring right next to that picture. You're still here with me, because we got lots of love left in this house. With the loving in your eyes.
Welcome back. Windsor's Denis Bastarache is the lead singer, lead guitarist, and primary songwriter for the band Bad Mustache. Denis is a well-known musician in our area and has been playing for many years, and we'll find out how many. He's been making annual trips to Austin, Texas to showcase his songs and meet with other songwriters, agents, and music producers. This all sounds so interesting, and I'm delighted Denis has come to join us. Welcome to Scribes and Songsters.
Thank you for having me. It's pretty exciting.
Now, Bad Mustache.
Yes.
Great name.
It's
Where is it from?
well, when I came to Windsor, I ended up different jobs and went to school, and I ended up at Chrysler. And at Chrysler, they had like 5,000, 6,000 people there. So it's a big high school. My name being Bastarache, they couldn't say it till they came up with a nickname. And they just stuck. Then we had a few jobs playing music, and the band was doing well, and then I got booked for years under Bad Mustache, and so here I am.
Yeah, it's different. I've never heard another band called Bad Mustache.
They don't forget you after they hear that.
No,
it's a little bit funny
exactly.
when you first hear it, but you never forget it.
No, because does anybody ever say, is it because you've got a bad mustache?
Oh,
I'm not saying you've got a bad mustache.
That's the going on joke all the time, yes.
Yeah. So when did you start playing music?
Well, I know I go back to my teenage years, I would think. My father gave me a guitar, I might have been 7, but I really didn't start playing until I was a teenager. It's not how long you play, it's how often you play.
Mm-hmm.
So I started as a teenager to play, for example. The interest came in early.
Did you grow up in Windsor?
I grew up in Timmins.
Oh, in Timmins.
I was born in Quebec. Then we left there when it was Saint-Perpétue-Montmagny, Quebec, which is a mouthful. My father was looking for some work away from the town, so he found some work in Hearst, Ontario, which is like really cold. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I did that's where I did my elementary school. Then we moved to Timmins. That's where I did the rest of my schooling. That was great. Timmins was a super spot. When I decided to pull off the road, when I retired from traveling in music, I fell in love with Windsor London, and Kitchener. And a far fourth would have been Hamilton, but those cities just took my heart.
Wow.
And that's
So let's go back to your being on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before you even got to the road, after you had your first guitar, when did you decide you wanted to spend more time doing music?
That was right away, because my father is the fellow that used to bring the band from the bar to the house, and they would have a little party. So I would watch the guys play. His best friend is one of the best guitar players I've known, and he was a big man, big muscles, and he'd show up with a brand new Telecaster, and he'd say, "If you take me arm wrestling, it's yours. I'm 6 or 7. I'm pulling on his arm. There's no way." But that's the influences I've got, and I've carried him through, and I love it. It's I say I'm married to my music kind of thing. It's part of me. It's part of my soul.
When you were in high school, I mean, when did you start? Did you play by yourself, or did you start in a band?
It's mostly started with a band. I get other people pick you up and you do the thing. Playing by myself was a little scary. And even my songwriting was very scary. I never shared my songs till I came to Windsor, because Windsor is a rich area. They have writers of incredible talent here. You just talked with Kimberly. That was amazing. So.
Yes, very talented people. Yeah. Now, what kind of music were you attracted to?
my father was a fiddle and the buckhorns and the accordion, and then as I went along the way, when I hit the road, it was Merle Haggard was my hero. I'm still a big Merle Haggard fan, and you go into the rock and roll bands. I used to love Tease, some of the Canadian bands. April Wine, Canadian band. So I'm all over the place as well. Probably why I write all over the place. Bluegrass was another big thing.
So tell me about Texas.
Texas it has my heart first and foremost. It has Marie's heart as well. We drive.
And this is your wife.
This is my wife. She's the one. Sometimes she's the one I can't live without. I was lucky enough to find that.
I bet she's very glad to hear that.
Well, yeah, she's also the boss. She can be the boss, and it's a good thing, because I need a boss. I am a big kid. But we love to go to Texas so much that we get into the van and we drive almost 3 days right to Austin, and we have certain restaurants we like to stop, so we make a trip of it. And once you're into Austin, you sit down with some big people that we may not know down here, but last year you would know Michael Martin Murphy. He was there. He got an award. The guys from Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, they're there.
Wow.
So these are the people you get to sit with. And at night we sit down like we are right here, and I'll play a song, and Michael Murphy might be next to me singing a song, and we just pass it around. And you learn so much from these people if you're willing to listen, right? So
that must be so exciting for a musician.
It is. So this year I went in, and every year I go in and they throw so much information at you, because 3 floors of songwriters and publishers and some lawyers and some radio people and all sorts of people. And we all share information. And every year they just kind of bombard me with information. And I get home and I'm a little lost. But every year, like peeling an onion, something happens. And this year it really, really rang a bell. So.
And what was that?
Well, what it is, when I was sitting down with the publishers, and they're the publishers that hand your songs over to, say, Tim McGraw or whatnot.
Yeah. But
they have a certain box. If you don't make that box, you just got a swoosh. You don't have a hit. So I understand that getting a hit is impossible. But they were looking at my lyrics, and they said, this is a very good song. They would come up to say the 6th line and go, that's a great starting line. So I caught on to that. The starting line, of course, is so important.
Yes.
So this year I'm going to work more on my starting line, and my imagery is the biggest deal. You don't need to be clever. Clever loses people. You don't need big words. You lose people with that. That's what I'm trying to work on, simplicity. And that. I think the biggest thing a songwriter should do is to find a songwriters group, whether it's a great group or a lesser group. You build and you become together. That's the best advice I have for songwriters.
Now, there is a songwriters group, I understand, that you're with in Leamington.
Yes, it's part of the Canadian Songwriters Association, and I have some great writers alongside with my friend Brian over here. And so
he's our producer.
There's the skill. It's amazing, some of the songs. And Brian can tell you, we started off with okay songs to you sit at a table and you're just blown away from a single word. And that's what we do. We have a single word.
How many are in this group?
I've seen as many as 14 at the table, but on the website there's probably 80, 100. I'm not quite sure. But if we get there steady people.
Yeah, and so who are they? Who comes to a songwriters group?
It started off with Francine Honey. And she came.
I think we've had her on the show.
I bet you have. She's phenomenal. And Francine wanted to get together with other writers. So then we kind of got together, and then it just kind of starts building. And the people that show up, many times you'll have somebody walk in and say, I can't write. I can only have 3 lines together. and they'll say those 3 lines. You'll say, "My goodness, where did you get that?" An example would be I had ended up writing a song with my coworker, who's not a musician, not a songwriter. He says, "I've got these 4 lines. My dad passed away 2 years ago, and I didn't know what to do." He says, "No tears have fallen. I don't know why. The well is full and the floor is dry." You got to be kidding! You can write a book from that. It's amazing. That's all. So you never know what, and they might be stuck there, and we'll help each other find our way.
So it really is storytelling, because that's how those of us who write books and, newspaper stories and magazine stories. So it's really, when it comes right down to it, it's all storytelling.
It's all storytelling. And most of my songs have a little glimpse of me in it. Sometimes there's a little hidden kernel, or, for example, sometimes I wake up just to watch you sleep. Well, that's happened, and then it was the end of the song talks about one person that passed and the other person still there. And I kind of put that together. I think I kind of pieced it together a little hard, but it still works well. The idea behind that is every couple has a conversation saying, I'll go first, and you're going to be behind, and you'll be taking care of the grandkids. And everybody's got that conversation. It's never a bitter conversation. And that's what the end of the song goes by. He wakes up alone, but when he closes his eyes, she's still there.
Oh. Songwriting, writing is so wonderful, isn't
wonderful.
It?
Yes.
What's next for you?
Well, right now we are recording our blues CD.
Yep.
And it's very exciting. And this year, I'm 59, I'm going to be 60 in December 19th, 2020.
No
So I'm looking at this
kidding.
magical sign, 20 equals 60. So this year I'm actually going to work on my songs. I'm going to try a little harder, and because I am a procrastinator. Now, 2 things I am is I'm a procrastinator and I'm food tolerant. That's another thing that...
Well, I wish you all the best. And if I were you, I'd also get a lottery ticket with that 2020.
Yes, you never know. Thank you, Véronique.
My
À la
pleasure.
prochaine.
Merci. Well, that's it for another show here on Scribes and Songsters. Thanks so much to my guests, Kimberly Love and Denis Bastarache. Thanks to producers Gary Glass and Brian Sweet. Grateful thanks to the Toldo Foundation and Tony Toldo. We do so appreciate it. And we'd also like to especially thank Tina and Neil Queering. I'm Veronique Mandel. Thanks for watching. See you next time here on Scribes and Songsters.